2 weeks ago, history was made when Senator Kamala Harris was selected as the Democratic nominee to serve as vice president to the Democratic presidential candidate, Joe Biden. Almost immediately after her selection, the attacks began.
She was very, very nasty. She was extraordinarily nasty to Kavanaugh. She was the meanest, the most horrible, most disrespectful.
And just 24 hours ago, saying this about the first black woman on a major party presidential ticket.
Now you have a sort of a mad woman, I call her, because she was so angry and such hatred with Justice Kavanaugh.
Today, I asked the president directly.
Do you have an issue with a strong woman of color being in this presidential race?
None whatsoever.
You don't see her as a threat?
As you know, none whatsoever. No, not at all.
And now you have a sort of a mad woman, I call her, because she was so angry and such hatred with Justice Kavanaugh. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. She was the angriest of the group, and they were all angry. They were all radical left angry people.
Well, you didn't stop there. Trump encouraging a racist conspiracy theory over Harris's eligibility to be vice president. Harris, for the record, was born in California and does meet all necessary requirements to become the vice president of the United States.
On one side, her policy track record as the California Attorney General, and rightfully so. But then questions about her ethnicity, her legitimacy to blackness, and even her right to be considered for the position. Within that, in my opinion, which is nothing more than some sexist ideology, people also criticized her for being too political, as if that's not an element or characteristic of someone running for public office. In addition to that, they actually even questioned her principles because she adjusts her positions from time to time on how to achieve certain goals. Now, we complain about having a person currently in office who stubbornly and blatantly just ignores facts and refuses to change tactic, behavior, and strategy despite being presented with actual data and information that could determine one's life or death. We go so hard and demand that our elected officials reflect our values and the changing tides of America, as well as the cultural norms of the 21st century. And then, when such a candidate expresses the open-mindedness and flexibility to reflect and include new voices and a new way of thinking, we accuse her of being flip-floppy, too political, and unprincipled. I personally believe that this targeted attack on Senator Harris is more rooted in her black woman identity than in her being an actual Democrat. But let me be clear. Black women have been the most consistent, most selfless, most self-sacrificing, and most supportive of America's potential. Black women have been the nurturers of America's promise for centuries, from nursing their enslavers' offspring, to managing their household, and to being the unacknowledged heroines of the civil rights movement. And to keep it totally 100, even reviving Joe Biden's campaign. Black women's generosity and courage has been on full display through a myriad of powerful, wonderful black women throughout history, such as Harriet Tubman, Ida B. Wells, Sojourner Truth, Fannie Lou Hamer, Coretta Scott King, Rosa Parks, Shirley Chisholm, Michelle Obama, Donica Rux, the list goes on. This isn't just an attack on Senator Harris. This is an attack on girls and women of color across this country who aspire to achieve greatness, who aspire to the highest office of the land. This is an attack on my daughters. It also serves as a proclamation of where they think her place ought to be. They being the haters, of course. Kamala Harris isn't just a black or Indian candidate running for vice president. She is a representation of hope for little girls and young women of color across this country and around the world. And to be clear, if you are out there and you're looking for that perfect candidate, you're going to be looking for a long time. The perfect candidate doesn't exist. Every one of them makes a few bad choices. We all do over the course of our lifetime. But I want you to think about this. When you take the bus, train, or public transportation of any kind, your goal is for that form of transportation to get you as close as possible to your desired destination. However, there are times when you get dropped off a few blocks away and you either got to walk a little bit or you may have to use some other mode of transportation. And even if it's still not going to your desired location or not getting you to your final stop, you still get on, don't you? You still use that mode of transportation. You still take it. Don't walk a 20-mile trip if there's a bus that can take you the first 16 miles. Get on the bus and we can work to change that route together.